I've heard you can save literally hours at Hollywood Studios just by doing early entry.
But I'm here to put that to the test. May not be able to see it, but there are definitely groups of people up ahead of me. One thing I've learned while doing my research for this strategy is to arrive at early entry even earlier than you would think, because sometimes, specifically at this park, apparently, we'll test this out, but apparently sometimes they open early entry a little bit earlier. Plus, you want to be at the front of the line for early entry so that you can be at the front of the line for the attraction that you're going for. However, seeing all the people up ahead makes me a little nervous that even though it is 7:15, I maybe am already a little bit late to the game. I'm not a morning person. I just saw the first couple of Disney buses arriving, so my goal was to try to get to the park before Disney transportation guests got there, although I don't think I see the Skyliner running, so we might still be a little bit ahead of the Skyliner beeps. Disney transportation begins about 45 minutes to an hour before the park opens. And since every Disney resort has early entry, the buses will begin running about 45 minutes to an hour before the early entry start time. And they're definitely more on the hour scale today because I see a ton of them going by up ahead, and early entry doesn't even start for another hour. Also, if you're staying in a Skyliner resort, that is running. It is 7:30 and those are running as well right now. Now, if you're here in the Crescent Lake Epcot Resort area, which is Swan and Dolphin, Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach Club, you can walk over. I have not seen any of the boat transportation over here yet this morning, so that helps you plan out how you're getting to your Hollywood Studios early entry. But I think I may have already made a mistake this morning.
When you get to your early entry park, look for signs to direct you which turnstiles are open.
7:39 a.m. and I would say I'm about 15 people back in this row here. Looks like there are at least 6 lines for entering, starting at the far left side by the gift shop and coming over here by the ECV rental area. So it is now officially 7:45.
This is 45 minutes before early entry is even set to begin. So if you just get here in time for the start of early entry, you will still get lower wait times, but you'll be behind a lot of people.
30 minutes before early entry officially opens. .804 and we're in and we are speed walking. So someone who was a family about 3 back from the turnstile in our line was having issues with their ticket, so that held up our entire line because only one of the Mickey touch points was open. So that was a bit of a bummer, but it's okay. We are still here. We are still earlier than planned and we are on our way. Plus, seeing an early morning Hollywood Studios just makes my heart so happy. I love this park. Kind of reminds me of when I was a cast member here and would walk in early mornings. Nostalgia. Sun gleaming off of Miss Gertie here. What a beautiful sight.
Now, I know you're excited, but
remember, listen to cast members. They are the Disney difference, and speed walk, power walk do not run. Don't be that person. Now, me and pretty much everyone here are headed to one place only.
at Rise of the Resistance and
8:09, and we have just entered the queue, which has a posted wait time of 25 minutes. Now, while it's a really popular ride, that's why I prioritize it, it is a little bit of a risky move because this is also a long ride. So if there's any issues with this ride, or it takes longer than expected, or there's a breakdown or anything at all, this could really derail the rest of our morning.
although it felt like eternity, it had only been 13 minutes, then I was on the move again.
That wait time at the beginning was accurate, ended up waiting 24 minutes, even with a pause there in the middle. I'm not sure if that was just loading people or some kind of technical difficulty, but if that had not been the case, we would have literally just walked right on. Pretty sure I ended up being in the second launch, so had I got here just a little bit earlier, this would have surely been a walk-on. Quick look at the standby, and the wait is now 55 minutes, and the park has not even opened yet.
I'll definitely take our 24 minutes wait. Go Team Magical Disney Day.
Wait times are up on the app, and looking at Slinky Dog, it is a 55-minute wait, which is probably only going to go up from here, but I'm going to actually see about maybe checking off a couple of more rides first. It is 8:52 and we are on our way to, but seriously now, on to time check of 8:59.
To infinity and beyond, where dreams come true. Welcome to Disney's Hollywood Studios.
The park has officially opened now. 9:14, and we have already accomplished the biggest, most popular ride in this park, which is already at over a 60-minute standby wait time. So that definitely saved us some time. And we also checked off Midway Mania, which is definitely going to get towards the hour wait later in the day. Our wait for this ride was a whopping 6 minutes. So big time saving there as well. 9:54, and I've done the two most popular longest wait attractions here at Hollywood Studios, plus a bonus Midway Mania, which was a very good idea because last time I looked, the wait time for that was actually at 120 minutes already. But let's get down to some numbers and see how much time savings did this actually create for me. So Rise of the Resistance right now is 75 minutes. We waited 25 minutes, so that is a time saving of 50 minutes. Right now, Midway Mania has gone back down to 75 minutes. That 115 minutes earlier this morning was absolutely wild. That's a lot. But now it's kind of leveled out at 75 minutes, and we waited 6 minutes. So that is a 69-minute time saving. Wow. And then for Slinky Dog, we ended up having a pretty reasonable 34-minute wait. And when we exited, the standby wait time was 60 minutes. So that gave us a 26-minute time saving. Not a complete Disney day without a Chip and Dale sighting. So doing some maths, all together, we saved 2 hours and 25 minutes based on wait times here at 10 a.m. an hour after the park opened. Which means if we had just started arriving to the park right now, what took us 2 hours to do would basically take us 4.5 hours, so half of our Disney day. So now it is 10:06. We have time to go check out shows, go meet some characters. Oh, and get a tasty beverage. Let's go do that. Tasty beverage in hand. Now let's talk about what we learned this morning for early entry and tips. First off, have your park admission ready to go. Know where your ticket or magic band is. Know which finger you use to attach into the turnstile. Have everything linked up, ready to go. Also, before you even get to the turnstiles, there will be cast members there verifying that you are a Disney resort guest by checking your ticket or magic band before you get closer to the entrance. Have that handy to reduce stress. But early entry isn't only for Disney resort guests. Plus, Swan and Dolphin, Shades of Green, and at least right now, the Good Neighbor resorts, which are the resorts along Hotel Plaza Boulevard near Disney Springs. Now, the absolute biggest thing that I learned was get here early, even earlier than you think. And if they do decide to open early like they did today, you'll be here primed, ready to go. If you arrive just when early entry begins, you'll already be behind the curve. I talk a lot about getting to the early entry, well, early, so it's important to make sure you know when the park you're going to opens. Checking the handy My Disney Experience app will tell you the park hours for the day. Now, this was a 9 a.m. park open, but if the park opens even earlier, like sometimes Hollywood Studios has an 8:30 a.m. opening, and right now Animal Kingdom's opening at 8 a.m., that pushes early entry up even more and might potentially make it a bit less crowded because that lowers the number of people who want to get up early on their vacation, which is fair. They also let us enter the park for early entry an hour before park open. That way we could make our way to the rides we want to do and get in line. So whether that time frame is truly they're going to let you in, an hour early, 45 minutes, or truly right at 30 minutes, that just depends on the day. So you can't count on it, but we can be prepared for it. I have not been able to personally confirm this, but in my research, I've heard that other rides might not actually start operating before early entry time officially begins, with Rise of the Resistance obviously being the exception, meaning you could get in line for Slinky Dog at like 8:15, but it might actually start moving ride vehicles at 8:30 a.m. when early entry officially begins. I'll have to do further testing, but I wanted to mention that as you are planning your early entry strategy. So now that you're at the park, you are ready to go, have a plan in mind. Know which attraction you're going to be making a beeline for. And I would recommend making it a very popular attraction. That way you are knocking out an attraction that's sure to have a long wait time later in the day before regular day guests or even in the park.
Now, Hollywood specific strategies. Your best bet here is to pick either Rise or Slinky Dog. Which one you choose can be influenced by factors like which one you want to ride more, because I'm always a fan of having some must-dos for your Disney day and prioritizing those. Also, were you able to get a lightning lane for one over the other? With the advanced lightning lane booking window, you'll now know this in advance, making your early entry decision even easier if you opt to purchase the lightning lane. You can do what I did with Rise of the Resistance, then head over to Toy Story Land and knock out something smaller there, depending on wait times. And by smaller, I mean like Midway Mania, Alien Swirling Saucers, shorter rides, meaning you'll get off of them quicker and onto your next attraction. If you're in the first launch group for Rise, you may be able to even hop into Slinky Dog line before the park officially opens. You could just make a beeline for Slinky Dog. Check that off, then head to smaller rides like Midway Mania, Aliens, or even into Smuggler's Run, since at the very back of the park, it will take people longer to get there. Those 3 rides will probably have similar-ish wait times after you're off your headliner attraction. So note that probably one of those is not going to be sky high compared to the other ones. If thrill rides are your go-to, you could prioritize the 1-2 punch of Rock and Roller Coaster followed by Tower of Terror over on Sunset Boulevard. Since they're so close together, you can check off 2 rides fairly quickly. I would consider this route if you have lightning lanes for Slinky Dog and or Rise, or you're willing to wait until the evening to ride those rides, since the wait times in the evening typically drop. I would not consider Mickey and Minnie's for early entry just because it tends to be one of the tier 1 attractions that's easier to get a lightning lane for if you're going that route, and especially it's prone to have lower wait times in the evening, meaning you could just do standby for the ride then.
If you're able to, check on wait times right towards the end of the early entry hours to see if
on the My Disney Experience app, they show up about 20-ish minutes before the park opens, so that can help you make a decision on where to go after your first attraction. I did a quick check while waiting in line so that I was using my time efficiently.
That's how we made the split-second decision to get on Toy Story Midway Mania, which actually turned out to be a huge time saver, so really glad we did that. Knowing the most popular rides at each park will help you make this plan. A good rule of thumb is with the lightning lane system, if it's a tier 1 attraction, that probably means it's going to be one of the most popular in the park. So definitely think about prioritizing those attractions. Also, having familiarity with what are kind of normal wait times for other attractions will help you make a plan as well. So looking at wait times in advance on the My Disney Experience app or using third-party sites like Thrill Data can help you understand what are average wait times and therefore which ones might you want to prioritize. Now, this definitely saved us a lot of time and even potentially some money, because if we were able to knock off 3 of the biggest attractions here at this park without needing lightning lane, that saved us about $25 today. Actually, with Rise of Resistance single queue, that saves us actually like $50 per person by using this early entry strategy. But this is only the beginning of a strategy you need to know to have an incredible Disney day. So go ahead and check out this video here where I give even more tips so that you can have a magical day and keep making magical memories. As always, I'm Molly, and I'll meet you on Main Street.